Oh,
Audio good again. Wait, it's good. All right, thank you.
oh,
Thank you, Justin. All right, we're streaming again. Let's see if it works now.
all right, let's do it.
All right, I have ads right now. Justin or Alex, do you guys, is this coming out okay? Can you hear everything okay? So smooth. All right, let's see. All right, I think it's pretty good. I'm going to test this audio and here. Yeah, okay, we're great.
We're good.
We're good.
Nice. Okay, sounds good.
Cool. All right, Jason, Peekaboo, thanks for making the time.
For sure. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah. So, well, on your channel in your room, I feel like it's pretty convenient. So first off, I love your setup. Like it's perfectly angled with the move. Who made the move poster?
My parents actually got that for me for my. I think it was for my birthday. That or it was Christmas, but I think they went to someone like down near the town center and had someone just custom make it. It took a couple tries though because the text is like it's like really pixelated, so you can see like on the V,
Yeah.
like each little like part of the letter. So yeah,
How
I think
did
it's pretty cool. I like
who
that
made the
thing.
graphics for the move? And the is it a van for the move?
Yeah, it's a little van logo, and inside the van there's a little stick figure guy in it. One of our friends made it a long time ago. His,
So
his name was Zintho. That was
so
back at the very very beginning. He like added a little touch up to it.
so you said the move came from basically like this California lingo of like, oh man, like what's the move, man? What's the move? Whatever. So, but you said it kind of evolved into something more than just that. So, like, what is the state of the move in the move community?
Yeah, so yeah, basically started by something I just said all the time, and then when we were picking team names together, it was out of like the few, like the 4 or 5 options, it sounded like the best one, and then it just kind of became something that everyone enjoyed saying, and then that kind of was like our like slogan, and it's kind of like whenever anyone said that, they thought of us. So, and now the move just seems like it's growing bigger and better than ever, which is amazing. I'm always so excited to just be a part of it.
So, how would you describe, I don't know, a fan in the move community?
Generally, someone who is probably has great sense of humor, great looking, easy to be around. Everyone wants to be involved in their life somehow, and they just make everyone else's day around it better.
I mean, that sounds pretty right. I'm sure Twitch chat feels the same way. So, if you weren't pro in WoW, would there be another game that you'd be pro in?
On it, well, I don't think I'm good enough at any of the game to do that. But if I did have to pick another game, I'd probably try to play League of Legends or something because I actually played that a lot when I was playing WoW too. But and after talking to some of the people in the scene, they say like, yeah, it's actually kind of possible if you just play a lot of games, you can probably actually get to the top level. So it'd probably be League of Legends.
Nice. I mean, you've been playing WoW since pretty much like it came out. It came out in 2004. When did you start playing? 2006?
I feel like I started playing. I don't know exactly the years, but it was towards the end of the original vanilla expansion, and then like the very beginning of Burning Crusade. And I started playing that because my RuneScape account got hacked, so I needed a new game to play. So WoW was like the next best option. So
What do you think about the newest vanilla server? And because they had the old kind of like do-it-yourself one for a while, but then they shut that down and they opened up the new one. What do you think about that?
the new classic remake.
Yeah.
Also classic for a lot of people. A lot of people were really excited about it and were super hyped to play it. It was kind of fun to mess around with it for like a little bit on like the beta with all my friends. But for me, generally, I like to play the arena, and they don't have any kind of arena or super kind of fast paced PvP in classic. But maybe if they do release like another expansion, they'll have that in like Burning Crusade, and I think that could be fun to play with. But I think I had the most fun playing in classic just strictly playing with friends. Like I didn't really enjoy the solo kind of aspect anymore. I was just playing with the homies, I guess.
So it seems like there's kind of like two paths. Like as a WoW player, I played way back in the day, and for me, it was like it was all about raids. And so basically, I would cancel my plans. Like if I had like plans with family, friends, whatever, like I would cancel it just so that I could do a raid. Because the fact is, I could like mine or do whatever like all week and do quests. But the fact is that within one raid, a couple hours, like I could get more done than I could by myself. So like. Did you do a lot of raiding, and like at what point did you kind of like did you have to pivot from raiding into PvP?
I over the years it's been definitely more useful to be raiding. Like it's almost like a necessity nowadays. But like back before, I was always just super into PvP, and it was before like if you could get into the raids, like you just had this insane advantage back in like the older expansions, like Cataclysm or Mop or things like that, because it was actually really hard to get into the raids and like be a PvP at the same time. But yeah, definitely now I actually clear the raid like all the time. I do it on heroic, which is not the hardest version, but it's good enough to get me the gear that's like still gonna make me feel like I can just run people down. But yeah, raiding is just not for me because when you're in a first of all, it's harder to raid because you need a full group of 20 to 25 people, and then trying to coordinate that is like really difficult. And then raiding is really frustrating too because your whole raid can fall apart just because one person just doesn't really know what's going on, or they just constantly make the same mistake. And it's like an arena or something. There's only like one person on my team or two other people, so it's a lot easier to manage and it's easier to play. And I just find it more like fulfilling, I guess.
Yeah. How do you guys find each other like online, and like how did you guys know that like it clicked for you guys?
We've all been playing the game. Me, WizK, Absurge, and Jellybeans. We've been playing for so many years. We've all been playing like the same amount of time, and we've all kind of been playing at that high level. We never really played on the same teams though. We always would just like fight each other or see each other, and that's how we all kind of got to know each other's names. And we've all played through the expansions, but we most recently came together as a team a couple years ago because we actually all got kicked off of our teams because I only play like one class mainly. Wiz used to only play in one class. Jelly Beans plays a hunter, and then Carl also, who's Absters, just plays like Resto Shaman. So everyone was like, "Oh, these guys just one tricks. They're like all useless." So then we all got kicked off our teams, and then we ended up making a team together, and that turned out being one of the greatest things that could ever happen to anything. It seemed like that was crazy. Yeah.
So why did you pick to be a rogue? Like, did that just kind of like happen, or like I know that I chose like a priest because like I don't know, everyone always needed a priest, but like why rogue for you?
I think I started playing Rogue because back when I was introduced to WoW by my dad and his friend, he played a Rogue. So I think that's probably why I started with that. And I picked a gnome character too, which is like the smallest character in the game. So it's like because when I was started playing, I was super young, so I was super tiny. And then yeah, my dad's friend would actually let me play on his character when we'd go over to his house, and they would like go and drink in the living room and watch football or something. And I'd be upstairs like the biggest place I farmed at, like I was doing the rotation entirely wrong. It was like level 70, and near like this one city called Shatterath, you could like fly up and there's like these ogres you could farm, and I would like be spamming Shiv to kill mobs because I thought it was like the fastest way to attack, and that's like the worst spell to ever be spam attacking with. But I like let me play the guy, and then eventually he actually kicked me off the account forever because this one guy offered to buy this like one like nether vortex thing off him, and apparently he undercharged me like 10 gold, and I sold it to him because I was like, it's probably a good deal. Never let me play after that ever again. So that's probably why I stuck with Rogue, I think, because he played that.
Yeah. So jumping around a little bit, Sonoma, like you live in wine country. How's wine country?
It's actually sick. It's so good because I'm from Sacramento, and here it's like so hot. Like I really don't like the hot weather. I used to a lot when I was outside more, but now since I just play games all day, like I just can't handle the heat. So being there, it's like 20 degrees cooler or something, which is nice. And then it's always like mid 70s with a breeze, and then that's like my ideal weather. And then generally the scenery is pretty beautiful up there. Yeah. Like going to school at Sonoma State University, it has this one thing called the Sonoma aroma, because there'll be times where you just smell like ridiculous amounts of cow manure just all over from like all the different like farms and stuff. But seeing a lot of the wineries is pretty nuts. Like those people are crazy. It's like randomly they'll just do this off road into this huge like mansion, and just like acres and acres of like the grapes being farmed and stuff, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, I really love going to school there. That was definitely, of all the places I could have went to, that was by far the best one.
So for me, like I went to a big state school and like wanted to do like a theater program and acting and whatever. But like for you, like what was the big draw for you for Sonoma? Like why'd you go there?
Well, out of the like 5 or 6 places I applied, that was one of them that actually accepted me because I didn't have the craziest grades coming out of high school, and my SAT score was like basically dead average. And I ended up switching my major a couple times too, because I started off as computer science, and I did that for 2 years, and I thought maybe I want to do business, and then I switched from all that to communications because I realized like, okay, I could maybe try to do something with streaming and gaming and everything, and basically switching to communications, it gave me like as much free time as possible. And it's like it's one of the easier majors, like compared to computer science, where you're just sitting in a lab for like 8 hours trying to sit there and code. And there's no big essays, projects, assignments, and the homework is like a lot more minimal. And so that was one of the greatest decisions I ever made in my entire life, was switching my major to comms. And I think it's helped me a little bit. Maybe I think more of a comms experience just comes from doing though. So, but yeah, it was sick to go there. And plus, it's also kind of a smaller school, and it's also within like 2 hours from my home, because I didn't want to go super far away from my family for college, because if I ever needed something or I had a problem, like I didn't want it to be like a plane flight or like a huge issue. So my parents I'd actually always just go home during weekends sometimes, or my parents would come up and try to help me out, give me some supplies, whatever I need. And it's also next to a casino. My mom loves going to casinos, so it's next to a big casino called Grayton. And so she'll go up there and she'll get to stay there, and then I'll eat dinner with her or something if she comes up. So
yeah. So this is your last semester. But it's kind of gone a little awry with the whole coronavirus thing. You were talking about that you've been doing Zoom for your classes, and they make you have to keep your camera and your mic on, and one guy's like at the gas station just like chilling out.
That was hilarious. I don't know how more people didn't think that was hilarious. Like, so what happened was all the classes now, basically for like every college it's happened, all the classes made it so you have to be online. Like, there's no in-person face-to-face. So everyone's just signing on the computer just like this. Normal teachers don't require the webcam on, and generally everyone's mic is just muted. But for some reason, my professor's just like, yeah, no, you gotta turn the webcam on, gotta have it unmuted, gotta be make sure you're looking at the camera, make sure you're not, on your phone. It's like, it's nuts. But yeah, the very first class I ever went to, this guy like turns his webcam on after we're all sitting there, and he's just at the gas station like doing something totally different. And for some reason, no one else thought that was hilarious. And then, another thing too that happened when I first went the call, this guy left his mic unmuted, and he's like, dude, this is probably gonna be like such a joke or something. Like, we just got to sit there and act like we know what's going on, and it'll probably be super easy. And then he muted his mic, so like everyone heard him say that. I think the teachers were in there too when he said that. But yeah, I thought it was hilarious. But people just don't have a sense of humor, I think. So
I feel like there's got to be a subreddit that's got to like pop up of like inappropriate things that have been when you think your webcam or your microphone are off.
Yeah, I can't imagine what Zoom's going to bring, because I can't imagine like people trying to like flirt with classmates or something on Zoom, and everyone just has like cameras. There's like a chat box too. There's like a group chat for everything. So there'll definitely be some funny memes coming out.
Nice. So then once you graduate, like, how is your life going to change?
So yeah, I'm super excited. It's gonna be like it should be a couple months to graduation, and I think it'll just give me a lot more time to do other things in my life, because right now I love streaming so much, and it's like my biggest time sink every single day. But I think as time goes on, I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to get some other hobbies back into my life to kind of balance things out. So I'm probably gonna instantly start picking up golf again, and then I'm gonna start working out. So golf, gym is gonna be instantly added to my life, and I'll probably start waking up earlier. And then I want to try to also figure out how to just evolve a lot of the other platforms, like maybe YouTube, or get bigger on Instagram, and just use my other social medias and Twitter and Snapchat and stuff like that. And then so yeah, I'm probably gonna be staying home for a while too. I was thinking I might be moving up to Nevada out of school. I'm not sure. That'd be like a 2021 start plan or something if I did that. Because I'll probably stay at my parents' house. I don't want to go. Like, trying to get a place in California right now seems really, really hard, and I don't want to go rent an apartment or something, or rent somewhere if I don't need to, because I could just save the money. And my parents don't mind me being here, and I'm very comfortable here. So, but yeah, definitely gonna try to get more hobbies, and I'll probably I should be happier, in a better mood, and have a lot more energy to do all this stuff too. So it should be better. And yeah, definitely future plans of maybe trying to live in Nevada, I think.
So, well, Nevada and also Texas. Is it no income tax, or like tax wise, it's awesome?
Yeah, there's a lot of really big tax benefits to it, but it's also just like, it'd be cool because I could have my own place too.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize like how nice it is to not have to deal with like roommates and having that own sense of privacy, and especially if you're trying to have anyone over at the place or something, it's like a nice sense of like freedom. So yeah.
Yeah. Weird thoughts, but yeah. So when it comes to that, it seems like you're trying to kind of be a little bit more holistic and take care of yourself with golfing, with exercise, which is all good. But do you see yourself more as like a pro player, or is it more of like a personality, a brand? Like, what's the thing that you're trying to like build towards?
I always like to be a pro player and play competitive. I just think that the competitive scene, and it seems like in most games, it's not necessarily just enough to sustain yourself unless you're like constantly winning every single tournament. And you're playing every single. It's like it's very rare that anyone's actually just winning all the time. And then even when you do win all the time, it's like is that going to be enough for you? Like I would always want to make sure that I'm trying to build and while trying to be as competitive as I can be in competing, I want to make sure that I'm building the brand as well as I can be and trying to grow on all of these different platforms because I really do think streaming is such an important factor in anyone's success in the gaming industry. And I really want to make sure that I can try to just push that as hard as I possibly can while trying to, be competitive and compete and still stay in the tourney scene and everything.
Well, I think you have to be a top level talent, and especially like if you are number one, then like that's gonna drive people to watch you as well because you're the best. And so you've got people who like just like you, want to be around you, and like the community. But then also like they're watching you because you're the best, so therefore like they're gonna pick up a lot. So how many people watch you because you're the best, and then how many people watch you just because like they like you?
I don't know. I think it's a mix because a lot of the gameplay I have the most fun doing playing with viewers and I'm just like messing around like a lot of my skill comes into play there I think but it's not like I'm playing at a super crazy high level because I don't think that's even that entertaining to watch because I'll try to watch it and it's like I can barely understand what's going on because it's sort of like kind of watch WoW but it's probably split. I think some people definitely come for the super high level gameplay when I'm playing threes or playing some super try hard twos and then I think a lot of people like to hang out just because the whole vibe and the atmosphere. I think people just like to come and have a good time and get to interact with the others in the chat and everything. And it's kind of like a big family that just comes together. And it's been my favorite part of my day every day. And I just try to make sure that anyone that does, show up or hang out, that it's fun enough for them that makes them want to come back or even tell their friends about it or something like that.
I think one of the strongest things that you do is be able to communicate, like over communicate. You are able to read Twitch chat. You're able to like spark conversation like continuously. Like, how do you do that, and how do you keep that up at that level?
So I drink one cup of coffee a day generally, and I feel like I stutter and fumble a lot of my words. So I probably got to try to slow down. I think, but I don't know. I've always been kind of a fast reader and able to kind of just notice everyone in the chat and kind of I can explain what's going on in WoW because I've played the game for so long. I know how all the buttons work. I know what all the classes are doing, and I know what's going to happen before people are going to do it generally. But the whole chat reading thing, it's kind of difficult at times because some people might have some crazy names, or some people might ask some longer questions, or some people the questions they ask it might be kind of hard to read it. But I try my best to make sure that I read like every single person's message in chat because I know for myself, if I go into someone's like stream and maybe they only have like maybe they have like a couple hundred viewers or something, like 300 viewers, I'll like put a message in there and their chat's like not really moving and like they don't even read it or like, it's like they don't even see it. It's like I'm not even there. And it's like it actually like it's really frustrating to be honest when you actually try to talk to a streamer and they just like completely blow you off or ignore you. And it's like and it's because I stream myself, so I'm like, okay, I know they're not. There's no way they don't see this. It's right there. I'm looking at it. Like I read it 50 times before they even like take notice of their chat or something. It's like, so yeah. But I always really try to make sure that I read everyone's messages in chat.
Nice. And then yeah, like even just yeah, reading now. I'm gonna try to blink as much as possible so that you can take more shots. Um, so would you ever be like a commentator, like for I don't know, either WoW or any other game?
I think commentating is really fun. It's exciting, but I mean, when I did commentate at in Ohio for BlizzCon of 2019, I was like, man, I really wish I was just the one playing on the stage. Like, it's fun to commentate because you get to kind of chill back and see how everything goes, but like the inner spirit of competing just instantly overtakes it. It's like, man, like we would be crushing these people. Like, look at these people losing every game in practice. Like, if we were there, like, he's smashing them. And then it's also commentating gave me a new insight on what all the teams say because you have to actually interview each and every team and try to figure out kind of what's going on and what you're going to talk about. And it seems like everyone just kind of lies and says the same thing. Everyone says they're winning all their games, things are going well, practice is going well. But if everyone's saying they're winning every game, then clearly that can't be true because there's got to be people that are losing if they're playing each other. So it definitely seems like a lot of false confidence in convincing yourself that you're doing well. But yeah, I definitely wish like I would always prefer to compete over commentating, even though commentating is just fun.
I mean, that sounds pretty fun though. Is just calling everyone out. I'd be like, no, you're fourth place and you lost the last 3 games, but it's fine. When it comes to competition in Blizzard, and how is the tournament structure, and like how is that? Yeah, what's the good and what could improve when it comes to the tournament structure for WoW?
I actually just recently had a meeting with one of the heads of the esports program. His name was D Machine, and he told me a little bit about it. But they want to make like a big change to the whole tourney scene, especially this year and maybe leading into next year. I can't say too much about it because
Yeah, be careful.
because low key, I don't really remember much of what he said. Apparently, there's more, and I didn't really hear a lot of it. But what I think the change he's trying to make would make it so it's a lot more. There's a lot more incentive for more players to want to compete and teams to do well instead of like the same people that might just go in and just dominate everyone, and it feels like no one else even has a chance, or that's even worth their time to go and play in it, which is. So they're making great changes like that. And I think it's very logical for them to do that. And I was totally on board with what they're saying. But yeah, the tournament structure, they're totally changing it this year. I don't know exactly the specifics on everything, but there's going to be less tournaments. And I'm still unsure about if there's going to be like a BlizzCon event, LAN event, or some kind of LAN event. I'm not totally sure on all this stuff because I haven't been told or anything. I have no idea. But yeah, I think it's online tournaments for the majority of it, as it always is. But there's just going to be less tournaments. And they actually switched the streaming services to YouTube as well, which is, yeah, I'm not a fan of that move. I don't think anyone's a fan of that move because it's, I don't really watch anything on YouTube, and there's no real emotes on YouTube and stuff. So it sucks they had to do that for like a lot of games, but I guess it's just what they had to do because it wasn't just WoW that happened to. That happened to almost all the Blizzard games. So, but there's maybe things that we can do to, help with that. So,
and maybe. Check out Pikaboo on YouTube, his new channel. So with the coronavirus, like because for the most part you're playing remotely, and there aren't really that many LANs, has it really affected your, gameplay and your normal day other than school?
Honestly, no. So this was kind of crazy to me. So I guess I've been living life like I'm cool the entire time because generally my day kind of goes like I wake up, I'll drive somewhere, I'll get some food to go, I'll come back home, I'll have my coffee, and then I'll start playing for 4 to 6 hours, and then I'll drive out again at night unless I've been drinking or something. I'll have to order it or have my dad go get it or someone go get it to me, and then I'll get takeout again. So I realize I eat takeout all the time, and I rarely ever sit in restaurants. So it's for me now. Like if I drive out and go get my Chipotle or something, I'll be the only one in the restaurant. I feel like I'm a VIP now. It's like I've rented out the whole place, which is kind of crazy. And then all the food is like fully stocked, fully fresh. Like the soda machines are super fresh too. And yeah, even so it's kind of weird, but my life really has not changed since hearing all this crazy stuff. I just have more time to play video games, but I definitely don't like the school changes. I feel like that was kind of worse, but everything else is like, there's way less traffic on the road too, which is also a thing. And gas prices are also a lot lower as well. So yeah, there's life's pretty much been the same for me, I think. Yeah.
When it comes to music on your stream, not gonna lie, your music's pretty dope. So like, how do you find all your music?
Ooh, thank you for that. I used to actually listen to a lot more music before. Now I'm kind of, because I don't really go and just try to find all these individual songs, but I try to mix up the music variety because sometimes I'll listen to a lot of like 80s rock, 90s rock, 2000s rock, because I think that's just really easy to listen to, and everyone seems to enjoy that on stream. Because I don't like to play, like I love listening to like hip hop music and stuff, but I don't really play a lot of that on stream because a lot of people are not like the biggest fans of it. And just reading comments of people saying like, oh, your music sucks, or like, oh, this song is terrible, it's like one of the most like tilting things you could ever hear as a streamer, because it's like, okay, then just like mute the stream or play your own music or something. But yeah, basically I always just love listening to music, and I feel like I have a decent ear or sound for it. So like if I'm gonna enjoy something, I'm assuming that someone else could probably at least listen to it, because for someone to tell you that your music sucks and you might have all these other viewers that don't say anything, they must like really, really hate the song or something, because there's all these other people that are not saying anything about it. They might not be saying it's the greatest thing, but at least they're not saying it's like, this is making their ears bleed or something. So yeah.
So you were saying if you went pro jumping around that you would go League of Legends, but not even pro. Like what other games are you playing when you're not playing WoW?
I don't really play many other games. There's like a few games I might play for like a couple hours, once every few months or something. I've tried like all the big games that come out with all the hype, like all the battle royales. I tried messing around with like all the. I've played the Call of Duties. I tried. I played like Overwatch. I played Hearthstone. I played Grand Theft Auto. A lot of that. I like Counter-Strike as well. I also bought Forza 4. So I like cars a lot too. So I was actually just looking at buying like a racing simulator setup. But yeah, but I wish I played more video games. I think I'd have more fun playing some other stuff. But the one thing I want to get into now is VR games. I don't know if how I'd make room in my room. I'd have to like move my bed around and stuff. But it seems like that'd be a lot of fun to mess around with. Because anytime I've ever seen anyone have a VR setup that I go over to their house or something, it's like they don't even like use it. And I'm like, man, like this could be insane if I just throw the headset on. Like I don't know. But yeah, VR games look fun. And then yeah, I don't really put a lot of time into any of the games really. It's mostly always just kind of been WoW because WoW's always been there. And there's no game that's, really the same as WoW. I've also tried all the other MMOs that came out that were supposed to kill WoW, and they all just ended up dying out really quick. So, yeah.
So have you tried Alex at all, the Half-Life game? Have you seen it?
Okay, yeah, I've not played any Half-Life games or anything like that. That I don't really play too. That's a Steam game, right?
Yeah.
Half-Life.
It's
yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
You know who Gabe Newell is? He's he basically that's his brainchild. He was like, I believe in this. And like whenever they do like a new Half-Life, that becomes like essentially like a new genre. So like they put in a lot of resources to make sure this Half-Life Alex game, the VR one, is like ridiculously good. So check it out. It looks really interesting. If you get into VR,
yeah, sure.
That's probably it. But you talked about, WoW and other games, MMORPGs like coming in and trying to like dethrone WoW, but they haven't. So like, how has WoW kept, I don't know, on top for 16 years now?
I think WoW is so much better than all the other MMOs because I feel like after me playing them for so many years, I kind of have a good what should be good and what things should be like and how things should work and feel. And I think some of the biggest ones are like really well, they seem basic to us, but I'm sure to like people that actually make the games, it's like impossible to replicate because WoW's been around for so long. But it seems like just like even the movement aspect of WoW, like for some reason, even just like running around in circles like in a major city is like way more satisfying than it ever would be on like any other games like maybe Rift or like Guild Wars and stuff. And then another big thing is the actual combat aspect of the games. It's like in WoW, you can actually really tell when you have things proccing, like what buffs you have. You can actually see your abilities going off. Crowd control and stuff like that is actually really easy to see and pick up on. And crowd control chaining is also very important in WoW. And in a lot of the other games, they're just like these kind of big like mosh pits, it feels like, and everyone's just spamming all these buttons and the damage text just looks really weird. It's like it takes a really great computer to like run the game even remotely. And it just feels like it's just a big like fiesta in the middle and no one has any idea like what's going on. That's how I feel playing the game. So if I feel like that playing the game, and I've been playing these games forever at like at very high levels, it's like, man, like this must be impossible to even like remotely understand from someone who's like just trying to get into a game like that. But so I think, yeah, just the movement, the combat aspects of it. And I think the content's also really insane. I think the rating aspect of WoW is really, really good. Like from seeing where it started in classic or from vanilla to now, it's like how in-depth the boss fights are and how all the mechanics work and how just all the graphic work and everything is, and how you really kind of have to come together as like a team and a collective unit to actually progress through it, I think is very important. So yeah, I think WoW does a good job at all that stuff.
So it's been a lot of years of you playing it. Like, how do you keep it fresh? And like, do you ever get bored of the game? And like, how do you keep it fresh for you?
I don't know. I think I'm just nuts or something because I don't think I'm addicted to the game. Like I think I could stop playing it, but I don't know what I would do without WoW. I think I could, but I don't know what I would do if WoW didn't exist. Because like every single day I will be on my computer for like 10 plus hours, and I'll be on WoW for 80% of that. Like not all of it's going to be on stream, but it's like I don't know. For some reason, Arena is always just really, really satisfying. I think it's that. Like I said, I think it's because there's just no other game that's even close to WoW, and that's why every single person that's ever played WoW or every person in the tournament scene, whether everyone likes each other or not, everyone can definitely agree on the fact that WoW like has had the potential to be one of the greatest like esports games ever in the entire world if just certain changes were made towards that because of the way it works and just how unique and different it is. But I don't know. For some reason, just killing other people in the game is insane to me. It's such a satisfying feeling when I know that, like, because I know how I feel when I lose or something, and when I can do that to somebody else, it's like, yeah, like that's probably gonna like make them lose sleep at night or something. So I think things like that are just like fun. But yeah, I'm definitely just way more into playing versus other people as opposed to playing versus computers and stuff. So I think that's why it's also just like it's kind of like a new game every arena. So yeah.
I know with the League of Legends players that we talk about scrim to stage, and basically you may do really, really well, in scrims, but then once you get to stage and, you've got a bunch of people, that performance is not always there, either the stress or communication, whatever it is, nerves. So like for you, when you're playing at like Blizzard, BlizzCon or whatever it is, like is it harder on stage when you're playing? Like, do you get nerves, or is it pretty much like the same old thing, but instead of, at home, it's in front of thousands of people?
Me personally, honestly, I actually get really nervous. Like, for some reason, that's like one thing that hasn't really changed over the years. Like in practice, I feel like I'll play a lot better because I'm a lot more like just comfortable and I'm like way more carefree. And if I played like that in tournaments, I'd probably have more success in tournaments, I think, because I used to do a lot better in tournaments before. But I think it's because I was just a different mindset. But for me personally, I'm always like really, really kind of shaky and nervous when I get there. And a lot of my like confidence in feeling calm comes from seeing how my teammates are reacting and what they're thinking or feeling like. Cause it's much easier if your team goes in there and you guys are all talking yourselves up like constantly. You don't want to ever have any like negative thoughts of like, oh, we might lose this, or oh, these guys are like, I think they're better than us, or oh, they might just like crush us if they play this comp. It's like you can't ever be saying that or thinking that because it doesn't help anyone's mental state. But I just basically really try to make sure that I stay as calm as I can and not get too excited. But there definitely is a difference between playing in practice and on stage, because theoretically, like, you could practice all you want and then all of a sudden you go up there on stage and in the 3 games that matter the most, you could just like completely blow it, or the other team just like completely blows it. It's like the easiest games ever. But yeah, I definitely think it's harder to actually perform when the time is there. But yeah, that's why I love playing with my teammates, because they're always so positive and so confident in what they're doing. And we've all played for so many years and everything, and we just know, like, even if things are going kind of wrong mid-series, we know like what to say and what not to say to give us like the best chance of actually coming back and winning. So,
do you have a ritual for when the expansion packs come out?
I don't necessarily have a ritual because I've never been able to actually do any. Generally, expansions school started, but now I'll probably just sit there and level to the max level in one sitting, because I actually did that for BFA. I think I played for like I think it was like 12 something hours, and I took a picture of my desk and there's just like monster cans everywhere. I had like big sandwiches and I had like cookies everywhere. But so from now on, when expansions come out, I'm definitely just going to level in one sitting. And that's what a lot of people do. Everyone just tries to like rush it as fast as they can, because leveling is for people like me, it's not super exciting or anything, but it's exciting that one time you do it, and then after that, it's like, okay, I want to just play the game and game content. So yeah, probably just level in one sitting.
When Classic got re-released, how long did it take you to level up, max out?
So I didn't actually. So I played the beta, and I feel like I put so many hours into playing the beta, and the level literally 30. It's like not even remotely anywhere into the game, and I feel like I was like losing my mind playing it for so long. I was like going into zombie mode. It was bad. And then when the actual game released, I ended up hitting level 21, and I was like, you know what? I'm never going to log on this game ever again. I went right back to retail, and then I've been doing that ever since. But I think for some people that could really grind it out on Classic, got it done within like a week. They hit 60. And for other people, like it could take them months. Like I could never hit level 60, I don't think, ever. Like I no. I don't think so.
Cool. I'll throw it to is for Twitch chat. Do you guys have any questions? And is there any topic that you wanted to cover before we wrap this up?
Any topic I want to cover? I have some questions about merchandise and stuff like that. I get a lot of questions about is there ever going to be any maybe some kind of collaboration with the Move and the Golden Guardians, or if there's any way that we could try to design a shirt or some merchandise, maybe some hats or like some stickers or something. I don't know if that's an offshoot question or not, but
yeah, like
that's what I've been
message
thinking.
Message me, and
for sure.
Yeah. Someone called Jelly Beans says, "Who's your favorite teammate?"
Who's your favorite teammate? Well, I'm gonna have to say, I'm gonna have to absolutely just say it's Jelly Beans, absolutely, without a doubt in my mind.
I feel like that was a leading question.
Yeah, didn't have to think about it for a second.
Did you meet Zane at the photo shoot? What'd you think of Zane?
Zane seems cool. Everyone seems really cool. I like it. It's kind of it was definitely kind of awkward trying to talk to everyone, I guess, because everyone's kind of like a gamer and everything. And I wish everyone was a little more open, because I definitely wanted to talk to everyone, but I'm too shy and socially awkward to go up and talk to all these people. But definitely everyone seemed very chill and very relaxed. from what I could tell. And then the whole that pizza party was
Yeah, it was
insane.
good.
Oh my god, I'm still talking about that to this day. That was one of the greatest moments that I've ever had with the team ever before. Like it was that good. Like I could not believe that.
Everyone knew that you had a good time. Everyone
Yeah,
knew that
that
you
was
had a good time.
yeah, definitely. Like, that was ridiculous.
um, oh, what does your dad's friend think of you now that you're the best rogue player in the world after that you were playing on his account?
I think he was kind of shocked about it for a while. I don't think he plays much. Quit a while back, but I think for him to see like, wow, this kid that was like playing on my rogue, just wasting my gold, was just turned out to be actually decent at the game. It's funny too because a lot of my old teammates that I met way back, like in when I first started playing arena, all of them see like, dude, oh my god, like you like got through it, you like play at the highest level, you're there at BlizzCon. It's like, damn, like I was playing with you back in the day. So yeah, they're all like excited about it too. So
First off, why is your YouTube editor so handsome? And also, what is the number one PvP guild in all of WoW?
I think the number one guild right now, if I'm not mistaken, is the move. I mean, it's just a simple fact at this point. It's the number one guild in the world and in the entire gaming universe and in the entire galaxy, I would say. And I can say that with just no bias as well. So, yeah.
Broden asks, how does the adrenaline affect your gameplay on stage? You kind of talked about that, but I don't know. Any other elaboration?
Yeah. So me and Vince are definitely the loudest people on the team by far. Like we will be screaming at the top of our lungs from the very first second we stun somebody, and that's like sick in one sense if they die, but if they don't die, screaming, it's really bad because then our actual communication just turns into nothing but screaming that we're going to kill the guy in the next 20 seconds. So there's times where you definitely just have to chill out and relax because when you do get super hyped, like amped up and super hypey, it's like it's good to an extent, but otherwise it's like really bad if you need to really focus on what's happening. But generally, I've never felt an adrenaline rush like I have of playing on like the BlizzCon stage, like a big game, like that series in 2018 versus Waz's team. Like that was one of the most adrenaline pumps I've ever had ever in my life because that was a really big series. I think that was one of the biggest series I've ever played in my entire life. And of course, we came up with a 3-0. So I mean, yeah.
All right. Soul Extra asked, mentioned some changes that you would make WoW the greatest esport. What are they? But you kind of said you're not allowed to talk about them because a lot of those changes are being made. No, I'm gonna stay off that one.
Okay, for sure.
When you fall asleep. Never mind.
Well, Crymore has a question. How do you deal with the constant pressure of on-stream positivity?
Oh yeah.
So like, yeah, so that's something that's not even that's not even a thought or anything. Like I don't have to sit here and try really hard to like, oh, I'm having so much fun. This is so crazy. This is so exciting. Like I don't have to sit there and try to fake it at all. And when I first started like really trying to take streaming seriously, I would have so many people come in and say like, oh man, this kid's so fake. This guy's like such a liar. Like it's all an act. It's all personality. And it's like, no. Like I think people don't. A lot of people just don't really understand like what's even going on. I think things are better than ever in my life, and it's all because of what's happened on the stream. Like I'm able to just do so many different things now that I never could before, and then on top of it, I'm able to turn my passion that I've been playing this game for 8+ hours a day for all these years, and I can finally actually try to get somewhere in my life with it. It's like insane. It's like every day is like. Every day is like the best day ever because it's a brand new opportunity to stream. And then that's why I was saying I really need to try to get some other hobbies outside of gaming because I think if I didn't have a stream right now, I'd probably like just go nuts because I don't know what I would actually do all day. And I'd be screwed. So yeah, streaming is like actually the most amazing thing ever. So it's very easy to sit there and actually have fun when I'm playing.
I mean, I think
especially when I'm playing with the team. So yeah,
I think it's hard not to just be yourself when you're streaming 4 to 6 hours every day. Like you can't I mean, maybe you can, but like that'd be exhausting if it wasn't like you.
Oh yeah, that's why a lot of people too, when they you can tell who's genuine and who's not. But I mean, I look at a lot of different streamers all the time because I'm trying to see what are other people up to, what are other people doing, like, and I think that I think that's a good thing to be aware of, who is in your same environment and everything. And there's a lot of people that will burn out so quick. They can maybe stream for a couple days, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you know what, I gotta take a couple days off here. Like, oh, I can only maybe stream for an hour here. Oh, I'm just so exhausted. And it's like those people, it's very easy to tell that they're not totally committed or dedicated to the grind, because they're not being totally genuine about it. Because that's the difference between YouTube videos and Twitch, especially because in a YouTube video you can sit there and edit it 50 times. You can retake the same phrase 50 times. But when you're on Twitch, it's a direct live stream the entire time. There's like there's no cuts or anything. You can't take anything back that you say. It's completely all you. And I think Twitch viewers are easily smart enough to be able to figure out, like, okay, this person is not genuine at all. They're lying, or this is not who they are. And that's why I think a lot of YouTubers or Instagrammers that will try to get on Twitch, they can't, like, the transition doesn't necessarily work that well, because people can kind of see, like, oh, they're not like this on the stream, but they're like this in the video. So it's really different for people to see, I think.
It's like a window into your soul. Like with you, like YouTube and Instagram, like you can cut it and whatever, and like it's like perfect it. But Twitch is just like warts and all, man. If you weren't playing Rogue, what would you play?
I'd probably have to play Windwalker Monk. I don't think there'd be any other option, because that class seems to always be insane, and then it seems like we're always lacking that class when we need it most. So it'd definitely be Windwalker. I wouldn't like it as much though, but that's what it'd have to be.
Wrist check for watches.
Yeah, got a watch on right now.
It's very pretty.
Thank you.
Who feeds the most on team?
Carl, for sure. There are so many times where Carl just runs in and throws games. It's insane, especially after he's tilted or something. He'll try to blame the team. He'll blame me, Wiz, or Vince. Like, Carl will, some games will just run into like a team that he knows could kill him in 5 seconds and actually die in 5 seconds, and then be like, "Oh my god, the game is so broken. This club is Carl, like, you actually couldn't have died any faster. You could have stood AFK in the starting gates and lasted longer than that. So he obviously, we don't say that to him because he knows that, but it's yeah, maybe it makes him feel better or something after he takes a quick loss like that.
Weapon and chance for a new Rogue player.
Yeah, I'm not sure who asked that question, but the
Diesel my guy.
Yeah, Diesel my guy. That's a classic Diesel question. The best weapon and chance are going to be, so you shouldn't use force multiplier anymore. You want to use a quick navigation and a versatile navigation. Those are the best ones, for sure.
If you can make a significant impact on WoW developer insight on class balance, how would you go about it?
It's kind of hard. Like, the questions about like class balance is really different because everyone has like a bias. Like, if you talk to all the top players on what they think needs to change, it's very clear that certain players, like the Rogue Mage players, think that certain comps are broken, and the people that aren't playing Rogue Mage are just complaining about Rogue Mage. And it's hard to actually find a real non-biased opinion on it because there's a lot of ways that WoW could change too. And it's hard to tell like what small changes they make are going to affect the overall metagame of what's happening. So I think that definitely requires lots of insights as opposed to just one person. So I don't have an answer for what I would do to just like, oh, yep, if I do this, the game's going to be insane and there's going to have 10 million subscribers instantly, because it just doesn't really work like that. It's really hard to actually balance the game, especially because there's two sides to the game. There's PvP and PvE, and making changes to one side has a direct impact on the other. And yeah, so it's a hard question. I think gear vendors would be good. That's something a lot of people think, that they need to bring back vendors where you can actually get a currency or something and go and buy an actual piece of gear without having to try to play a lottery system and hoping that you get an item, because that's like a big frustration a lot of people have with the game. I think a lot of people agree on the PvEers and the PvPers. I mean, it's good if you get the gear, but I mean, for people that don't get the gear, it's like, okay, this is horrible. They got to try to make this a little more fair or something, because in an MMO especially, there definitely has to be an imbalance, but they need to make the imbalance not so great that it discourages people from even wanting to try. So, yeah.
Kyle Fisher asks, who rages the hardest? And I'll preface this with knowing that someone gets angry with a hammer off camera. You were saying. I
mean, so Carl rages, but I think the get the most like heated would be Vince. Jelly Beans. Jelly Beans, it gets very upset very quick. It's very rare it happens, but when it does happen, me and the team will just sit back and be like, you know what, we're just let him go. Don't even really try to say anything, because Vince is really scary when he gets loud, like really scary. He definitely has the loudest voice on the team by far, but it's very rare that he ever rages like that. And a lot of that stuff too might not even necessarily be because of like the game or something. Like even when we're all hanging out in person, like if someone was ever like causing problems, Vince would be the first person to be in their face and stopping it from happening. And if anyone doesn't know that, you'd have to see it in person. It's like, yep, there he goes. He's gone. Vince is gone. There, he's going. So we got to follow him up, whatever happens. So yeah.
What do you think about the complexity of WoW compared to other esports?
I don't know about the complexity of WoW to other esports. I wish WoW had like more bigger scene and better prize pools, and there'd be more competition, because there used to be a lot more people that played WoW at the higher end, which I think overall made the community better, because it's easier to progress and learn things when you're playing against other people of the same skill level. And nowadays it seems like there's a lot less teams that are actually competing at that level, which definitely hinders the performance of everyone. But so I don't know about the complexities or anything. Yeah, I just wish there's more tournaments, bigger scene for it. I wish it was easier to watch. I think WoW has always been something that's like really difficult to watch. It's like for even when I'm trying to watch it, I can't really understand what's happening, because there's 6 people in the arena and everyone's pressing a button every single second. So there's just so much going on. I think the commentators do a great job. They've gotten a lot better over the years too at trying to help the average viewer kind of understand what's going on and make them feel like, okay, I can really kind of see what's happening and what the strategy is here. But I don't know how they can change that, because the game is already just confusing in the first place. So I think that's one of the biggest things on why it struggles getting a lot of viewership, is because it's just so confusing to watch unless you play it a lot.
What's the number one PvP change you would make going into Shadowlands?
Probably the vendors. I think the vendors, I'd say. I don't even know if that's a PvP change, or because they can do that for both sides, because it's just totally randomized right now. Even for the PvE vendors, you have to farm a currency and then you have a chance to get the piece of gear that you want. So I think vendors would be a great start to anything, because I think the game always, in how WoW works in any expansion, in the very last season, it's going to be the best of the best, because it's going to be the most balanced, like gear wise, and the most balanced class wise, because they've had all the whole year or almost 2 to try to figure things out. So I think a vendor would definitely help with gear imbalances, and I think gear imbalances a lot of reasons why things get kind of crazy. So yeah, vendors would be sick.
All right, I'm trying to go through every single one. Any pop out to you?
Let's see.
Keep seeing White Claw everywhere.
Yeah, I saw someone ask if the Golden Guardians would ever get like a car sponsorship.
That sounds dope, and I'm not allowed to talk about anything.
Okay. Because I've seen some other orgs doing that, and I'm wondering, like, dude, what are the benefits of that? And because
I don't.
Yeah,
I can tell you all those things off stream from my previous experience, but I can't say that on stream.
For sure. And then I guess some people would also ask about a White Claw sponsorship or some kind of food sponsorship as well. Is that even remotely in the realm of things, or is that just a bad look?
Also things in which that are being talked about a lot. Again, I feel like people are asking all the questions that we're not allowed to answer. But when it comes to like alcohol sponsorships, essentially like the argument is as long as the average, I don't know if it's mode or median or whatever, average of the viewership of that either org or game or league is above 21, then I believe it's either like safe or legal to be able to then have a alcohol sponsorship. So for something like League of Legends, the average age is at least 21 or over. So therefore that's why they can do a Bud Light sponsorship. So same thing with other games and orgs.
Okay. Wow. That actually, okay. For sure. Well, there's a breakdown on that, everyone. So now we got the inside scoop on it.
Yeah. So, anyways, there's a shite ton of other stuff in Twitch chat, but I'll leave that for the next time that you stream. But thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it. Good luck with the last of your semester. I hopefully that all the Zoom classes go well and you graduate and you can get the heck out of there and start playing golf and working out and stuff. But yeah, great to catch up, man. Thanks for the time.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for calling me on this.
All right, talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
See ya.